Guys, please do subscribe to our channel and support us. Let me ask you something. Have you ever thought about getting remarried, but felt a quiet hesitation deep inside? Not fear, not doubt, just a feeling like something important might be getting overlooked. Because here's the truth. Love after 60 is not the same as love at 25. It's deeper, more thoughtful, but also more complicated. And the mistake many people make? They assume if it feels right emotionally, it must be right in every way. But later, they discover things they didn't expect: financial stress, family tension, loss of independence, not because they made a bad decision, but because they didn't see the full picture. Today, we're going to talk about that picture, the real truths about remarriage after 60, the ones people don't always talk about, until it's too late. Let's start with something that surprises most people: money. Because love may bring you together, but finances will shape your future. And here's what many don't realize. Remarriage can change everything: your retirement, your benefits, your savings, even what you leave behind. Now imagine this. You've spent decades building stability, saving carefully, planning for the future. And then, one decision changes how everything is distributed. Social Security benefits may shift, pensions may change, legal rights may override your plans. And suddenly, what felt simple becomes complicated. Now pause for a moment. Have you ever thought about that? Because most people don't, until they're already in it. Now let's move to something even more emotional: family. Because when you remarry later in life, you're not just joining two people. You're joining histories, children, grandchildren, memories, and not everyone adjusts the same way. Some will be happy for you, supportive, excited, but others may feel uncertain, conflicted, even protective, not because they don't love you, but because they're trying to understand what this new chapter means. Now, imagine this. A simple decision creates tension you didn't expect. Conversations become uncomfortable. Assumptions begin to form. And suddenly, what was meant to bring happiness also brings complexity. Now here's the key. This doesn't mean remarriage is wrong. It means it requires awareness, communication, patience. Because family dynamics don't disappear. They evolve. Now let's go deeper. Because this next one is something many people don't think about: emotional expectations. When you were younger, marriage meant building a life, raising children, creating something from the ground up. But now, life is already built. You have routines, preferences, a way of living that feels comfortable. And bringing someone new into that space changes things. Now imagine this. Two people, both independent, both established, trying to merge their worlds. It sounds simple, but in reality, it requires adjustment, compromise, understanding. Because you're not starting fresh, you're blending two complete lives. And sometimes, that's harder than people expect. Now take a moment. Ask yourself, what do you really want? Companionship? Independence? A balance of both? Because clarity matters more now than ever. And what we've talked about so far is just the beginning. Let's continue. Because now we're going to talk about the parts most people avoid. Not because they don't matter, but because they feel uncomfortable. Let's start with something many people underestimate: the legal side of love. Marriage is not just emotional. It's a contract. And after 60, that contract carries more weight than ever. Because now, you have assets, savings, a lifetime of decisions behind you. And when you remarry, those things don't stay separate. They merge, sometimes in ways you didn't expect. Now imagine this. You plan to leave something for your children, something meaningful, something you worked your whole life to build. But after remarriage, legal rights shift, ownership changes, and suddenly, your intentions don't unfold the way you imagined. That's not a rare situation. It happens more often than people realize, not because anyone meant harm, but because the legal side wasn't fully understood. Now here's the truth. These conversations may not feel romantic, but they are necessary because clarity protects everyone. It protects you, your partner, and the people you care about most. Now let's move to something even deeper. Your definition of happiness. Because this changes more than anything. When you were younger, happiness often meant building something. A family, a future, a shared life. But now, happiness looks different. It's quieter, more personal, more intentional. Now imagine this. You've created a life that feels peaceful. You know your routines. You know what brings you comfort. You know what makes you feel like yourself. And then, you introduce change. Not bad change, but change. And suddenly, that peace is tested. Not because the relationship is wrong, but because your priorities are different now. Some people want companionship every day. Others want connection, without losing independence. And here's the important part. Both are valid, but they are not the same. Now pause for a moment. What does happiness look like for you today? Not years ago, not what others expect, but right now, because that answer should guide your decision. Now let's bring everything together, because what we've talked about today is not about saying yes or no to remarriage. It's about understanding it clearly, fully, honestly, the financial impact, the family dynamics, the emotional adjustments, the legal realities, your personal definition of happiness. These are not obstacles. They are awareness points. And when you understand them, you don't lose opportunity. You gain clarity. Now imagine this. You move forward, not rushed, not uncertain, but informed, grounded, confident in your decision. Because whether you choose remarriage or choose to stay independent, the goal is the same. Peace, fulfillment, a life that feels right to you. Now here's the most important truth. There is no right path, only your path. And the best decisions are not the ones made quickly. They're the ones made consciously. So now let me ask you, if you were to choose today, what would matter most? Because that answer might guide everything that comes next. Thanks for watching.